Welcome in. It's Wednesday. This is a live chat, so it makes this the Wednesday live chat. All things Canadian Open this week, or really whatever else you want to talk about. Nick Taylor has been immortalized as a bobblehead. It's fantastic. He's also the logo for this week, which is phenomenal. Scotty Scheffler's charges have been dropped. Well, I don't care. Time is yours, but there are a couple of things that we always start with, and we're going to start with those right now. The weather in Ontario, Canada, our neighbors to the north. Here it is, closest weather station I could find to Hamilton Golf and Country Club. Thursday, 66 and sunny. That's Fahrenheit, Canadians. Friday, 74 and sunny. Little bit of wind, just a hair, from 7 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour, kicking up midday on Thursday, a little bit later in the afternoon on Friday. Looks pretty benign to me. I doubt there is a significant wave advantage if anything stays close to this. If you made me pick which side is going to have an edge, the tiniest of edges to PM AM, but I'm talking probably not. Probably no edge whatsoever. Looks like a pretty clean week. All in Sunday, chance of rain, very small amount of precipitation. And this concludes my weather forecast. Let's go to the one and done selection percentages. These are real selections across the entirety of 3 million users on officefootballpool.com. I guess maybe not all of them play in golf one and dones, but a lot of people. 20% going with Tommy Ladd, 15% going with Shane Lowry, 11% going with Corey Connors, 9.3 on Sahith, 8.5 on Alex Noren, and then Nick Taylor, Cam Young, Rory McIlroy, Adam Hadwin, and Aaron Rai round out the rest of this top 10. Quick rant here. This might burn me. Quick rant here. What in the world are people doing picking Corey Connors? Okay. I realize this event is in his home country. That is basically where this is all. 11% of people are saying Corey Connors is from the second largest country in the world by landmass, and he must play well. That's insane. I mean, I'm not trying to bag Corey Connors here. Corey Connors is a good player. He's not a great player. He missed the cut the last time we played at Hamilton. I don't think Hamilton's a great fit for him. He cannot putt to save his life. He is almost a guarantee to finish somewhere between T11 and T26 with very little upside. Why are 11% of people picking him? When you could have, even Adam Hadwin, and will at least come at 4%. I don't think he's a good play either, but at least come with 4% ownership. At least Sam Burns can win a golf tournament. Taylor Pendrith, significantly better option. And if you love the Canadian thing. So this basically guarantees that Corey Connors is going to win now, but I'm just stunned by that. So that's the, we will talk a lot about one and done, I'm sure, but that is the up to the minute ownership selections. If anybody needs to ask questions about that, you can refer back to the beginning of the show for weather and for the one and done picks. Welcome in. Okay. Now we reset into your questions. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to get into. First question that I see here says, hey, Rick, who is the golfer that could potentially win this week that no one is talking about? I'll pull up the cheat sheet here because I think that no one is talking about will also look at, we can look at ownership along the way. So everything from here on out is my website, rickrungood.com. Go check it out. You'll love it. The first name that popped into my head was Cam Young. Right? Like, I think Cam Young can win this golf tournament, and I don't know how many people are talking about him. He is going to be about 20% owned in one and done. Looking throughout this, who could actually win that no one is talking about? Sam Burns. Sam Burns, to me, and I know it hasn't been good recently, or at least his 2024 got off to a good start, and then it kind of slowed down after we left the West Coast swing. He's a modern winner on the PGA Tour. Like, I've said that a lot. He played well at Quail Hollow, did not play well at the PGA Championship. He's got to get this figured out, but his upside is better than anybody. So those two were the first two names that popped into my head. Can you please tell me the highest owned guys per range, and also what type of golfer are you targeting this week? Bomber, short game specialist, etc. So the good news about this, because we don't have much information and much data on Hamilton, we played here in 2019, we played here in 2012. We're doing a lot of guessing, and they've done renovations since then. I am a believer that distance will be a big separator this week. Okay. I said that on the Monday show. I stand by that. I just see a lot of different holes where if you can carry it 310 or 320, you have removed the trouble off the tee. I mean, this hole right here, number 2, it's playing basically downwind right now, quartering a little bit, but playing downwind. I mean, if you can carry it 319, you've removed all possible trouble. And there are a lot of holes where that's going to be the case. So I think first and foremost, because everybody's going to play from the same spot off the tee, because everybody's going to have a perfect lie off the tee, you are getting an advantage for being long. I mean, look at 4. 4 is a hard hole. You have to hit a very strong, I shouldn't say it's a hard hole because it's a par 5. They're going to score on it, but it's a very narrow landing zone at 300 yards. The 300-yard landing zone in the fairway is 19 yards long. If you can carry it 315, you get a landing area that is twice as wide. I mean, I just, as I go through all these holes, it again and again, 5 might be drivable if you can, I think distance is going to be big. So I'm rolling with distance here. We'll see. So here are the highest owned golfers in each range. We'll sort this by salary here. Rory McIlroy garnering about 43% of the projected ownership here on Wednesday afternoon. Then in the 9K range, that's where you get, it's pretty spread out, but Cameron Young, Corey Connors run again. Just I want to see what Corey Connors' normal weekly ownership is. He's at 20% right now. He was 27% at Valero. Okay, at least that's an event that he's won twice at that same golf course. And he rarely in 2024 has gotten over 15%. He has 20% because he resides in this country. I will get off my soapbox now. The 8K range is getting, let's see, Mackenzie Hughes, Akshay Bhatia, Tom Kim in the 15% range, Davis Thompson at 17%, Taylor Pendrith at 15%. That's the 7K range. The 6K range, Ben Silverman and Grayson Sigg. I just do not understand the just blindly selecting the Canadians. I just do not get it. Good luck there. Hey, Rick, with Rory projected to be up around 50% of ownership, what should his exposure be in cash lineups? I don't play a lot of cash, but I assume like 100%, right? I mean, if you have a guy, what's the opposite of being contrarian, like being congruent, right? Isn't that what you're trying to do in cash games? So you should just be playing Rory everywhere, right? With my league, with one and done leaderboards taking shape, my league requires 2 guys for playoff picks. Is there any specific type of golfer I should be saving for Castle Pines? I'm not there yet. Guys that are going to be there. Hey, Rick, top 5% of my league: Tommy Fleetwood, Cam Young, Matt McNeely, Adam Scott, Aaron Rye this week. Thanks for all the work. I would pick, you should probably just pick Tommy Fleetwood, right? I mean, I've opted, I probably think higher of Cam Young, but if you're in the top 5%, just take Tommy. 20% ownership. I don't have any issue with that. Thoughts on Adam Scott this week? Comps well at courses like Travelers and Wyndham. Do you think he plays well at proper golf courses? Does Hamilton count as one of those? Well, let's look at this from a couple of different ways here. So I was looking at this on Monday or Tuesday. Adam Scott's stat profile is definitely better than I thought, right? I remember at the start of 2024 where he was, in a really good run, and he didn't cool off, but he didn't break through, which is kind of what I was expecting. I had to bet him a couple of times through the Masters. He finished T22 at the Masters. That's fine. And then he's had basically top 30 since then. He missed the cut at the PGA Championship, but I'm not really worried about it. So this is all in all a very good year for Adam Scott. He still drives it quite long, if I remember correctly. Let's look at his numbers. Yeah, I mean, he's 24th in driving distance this year. So in this field, he's probably top 8, something of that nature. So I would be, I'd be happy if you wanted to roll out Scott in any significant way. Rick, are Baddeley, Hoffman, Weir all course fits? So again, the way that I look at this, I don't like any of those guys. I think distance is going to be a big separator. This feels like the guys that you named, Chris, feel like short game and putting guys that are going to be able to separate themselves. I could see it being a little bit of distance plus birdie fest, maybe like make enough putts to win this. It's not like distance alone doesn't win you anything. So distance plus something else. So like if we wanted to take the the cheat sheet here and just look at distance and then guys that gain strokes to the field, I mean, Rory McIlroy, Taylor Pendrith, Alistair Doherty, Keith Mitchell, Adam Scott, Sahith Theegala. Like those are the types of guys I'm looking for. Distance and positive play in some other place or overall. That's what I'm looking at. Hey, Rick, a little off topic here, but saw that Michael Thorbjornsen got his tour card. Do you know when he'll play in his first event? Also, how good do you think he could be out of the gate? So I did see this. Are they still playing? Is his team still in this? And I don't even know if he's a junior or a senior or anything. Do we expect him to turn pro immediately and accept immediately? Remember, Gordon Sargent's coming back for another year. So I don't know what Michael's situation is, but if he's taking it, I would assume. So a lot of guys used to make their debut at Travelers, but now that's a signature event. So I would imagine like what's after Travelers, 3M, Rocket Mortgage, that type of range is when I imagine a lot of these guys will make their pro debuts if they have access to it. As far as how good he could be, TBD, right? I think he's, or at least spent some time as one of the number one ranked amateurs. We've seen some guys spark immediately. We've seen guys take a little bit longer to grow. I'm not sure where Michael is going to fit into all that. What do you think will happen with Matt Wallace this week? Does Wallace fit well with this golf course? We can do a little bit of a deep dive on Matt here. Has made the cut in 4 straight, played really well at the Byron Nelson. That cut streak did include the PGA Championship. Little bit reliant on the short game, but has the ability to be a positive ball striker. So he's not reliant on the short game, but he does most of his damage there. Let's look at some of the other metrics. 168th in driving accuracy, 69th in driving distance. He's not bad from the farther proximities, 150 and on, he's pretty good. He's also kind of good from like 125 and in. It's those like full pitching wedges that give him a little bit of trouble. 3 putts a lot. Okay. All right. This is 6 out of 10, right? It's okay. It's borderline good. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's super exciting, but I think it's plausible. Hey, Rick, I'm wondering about what have you done for me lately? Player cases, and hope you could put Nick Taylor under a microscope. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to like what you see when I do. Remember Nick Taylor and the run he made earlier this year? Like Phoenix was awesome, even all of last year. And look at what he was doing then. Really, he was a 0 off the tee. He's never been great with the driver. 0 off the tee. Very good second shot player, gaining 2, 3, 4, 5 strokes on approach. Very good putter. And an adequate enough around the green game. This is the best set of profiles you could get for Nick Taylor. Look at where we're at right now. Losing strokes on approach in 4 straight measured events, losing big around the green, losing with the putter. This is a complete divergence from the best version of himself. So when I see that, it makes me really worried. If you had to give one piece of advice to Kevin Yu to win this tournament, what would it be? Put the broomstick in your bag or put the jailbird in your bag. I actually don't know what he's using, but he just can't putt. So that's kind of the problem. Pray to the putting gods would be good advice. B Hale, who's a member of the YouTube channel, thank you very much, says, hey Rick, any idea why DraftKings, ESPN, Bet, etc. don't offer LPGA odds anymore? I can understand not posting odds every week, but this is the US Open. Most shocked about DK not having it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that is a handle decision. I don't know if they're like, I mean, I don't even want to speculate, but you could see them having conversations with the league and trying to get support there and saying, "Hey, we're going to hold off on putting odds until we have like an official agreement." I have no idea. I'm just wildly speculating, but I agree. It would be pretty easy to throw up LPGA odds. Rank the 6 main Canadians. I'm going Pendrith, Hughes, Connors, Hadwin, Svensson. Oh, sorry. I missed Nick Taylor. Pendrith, Taylor because of the pedigree, Connors, Hughes, Hadwin, Svensson. I'm in the middle of the pack of my one and done. This week I'm between McNeely, sure, Pendrith, course fit, yeah, baby, and Killer Keith. Listen, all those guys are pretty good. I think McNeely, you could hold McNeely because he has played very well for a couple of months now. Pendrith feels like a better course fit. Keith does as well. I'll admit. So I would say hold Pendrith hold McNeely and roll out either Pendrith or Keith Mitchell. I will roll out Pendrith. When players have obvious holes in their game, is there a common reason they don't have success correcting it, or do you hear things in the background? This is just a multi-layer thing, Dan. So Dan references Hovland around the green, Kevin Yu and Luke Lewis with the putter. Sometimes what you do so great in one aspect of your game is one of the reasons why you struggle in other aspects. That was one of the reasons that, some of the things that Victor does with his full swing are the opposite of what you should be doing around the green. And that was hard for him to try to figure that out. The other thing is, you could just say, why don't you just dedicate more time to putting? Like, why can't you putt? And some guys are worried that the time that they spend away from that will diminish their strengths and they'll become worse ball strikers and not improve their putting. It's a very mental game. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll run a modified model here. So custom model, rickrungood.com. I'm not even going to load my Monday model. I'm just going to redo this here. So let's go last 18 rounds. I want something pretty short term. I'm certain that I did a baseline of weighted strokes gained just because you should in a field that has of this caliber. So we're going to put 15 on weighted strokes gained total. And we'll also put 15 on implied win percentage, which will allow weighted strokes gained and will allow Vegas to fill in some of the gaps for the things we don't know in this field. Then what I'm going to do is do driving distance for 20, opportunities gained for 15, go make some birdies, right? Putting, let's do bonus putting, which is do you make all your short putts and then how many do you make from 15 yards or so? We'll put 15 on that. We've got 20 left. I guess we should probably put something around the green. Let's just call it scrambling for 10. And then the last 10 on fantasy points gained. My number one golfer is Rory McIlroy. Number two is Sahith Theegala, Alex Noren, there's Keith Mitchell, and Taylor Pendrith. They get big bumps, 4 and 5. Hughes is 6. Davis Thompson is 7. Eric Van Rooyen, if I remember correctly, also modeled well on Monday. Probably somebody that I should be paying more attention to. Adam Scott is 9. Tommy Fleetwood is 10. Is there any signs of Daniel Berger improving? Is everything okay back here? It's very loud. She's like rifling like through a bag. It's like clicking all over the place. All right, here's Berger. I mean, I liked him at the Charles Schwab, and there's nothing has literally nothing has changed. It's almost the same exact stat profile that we got from him the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a much weaker field. I'm pretty bullish that he's long term. He's probably like the 5th best player in this field. So yeah, I mean, it seems like we're heading in the right direction here. I don't know if it's this week though. So I kind of already answered this. It says, "Hey Rick, appreciate all that you do. I've been listening to your content this week, and almost all other shows I've listened to emphasize accuracy over distance. Can you go over how you landed on distance?" Sure. So I covered this a little bit. I will also say, like, I don't listen to anything else, so I wouldn't know what those reasons are. But just looking through, so what I do is I map these golf courses, right? And you've got to look at how the best players in the world are going to play these golf courses, right? They know their dispersions, they know their angles. If you know their dispersions and you know their angles, you understand how they're going to play this golf course. So basically every hole, and I went through this on Monday a little bit, is at this farthest yellow line, that's 300 yards, right? How wide are those scenarios? How wide are those landing areas? You're getting wider landing areas. You're getting trouble being removed from carrying it a long way. Distance is always an advantage, always, right? Now, I'm not saying this is a Cam Champ, Joseph Bramlett week. I'm not, because I think you need to be distance and also the ability to do something else. I mean, this, like, if you carry the ball 295, every single fairway bunker is in range for you. If you carry it 310, you've removed a lot of that. Obviously wind dependent, obviously, a lot of stuff dependent, but there are just so many spots like that. And also Rory McIlroy is going to cut the corner here, right? He's going to hit a big high draw and cut this. And these fairway bunkers on 11 are not even going to be in play for him. That's a huge, and then there's a couple of these short par fours that they're going to be able to push it up to, very close to the greens. The long par threes, which are the most difficult holes on the golf course, are, they're going to be hitting 8 irons when other guys are hitting, even 7 and 6. Like, that stuff adds up. Another dog leg in which now you've got to cut it the other way, but you can cut it. I'm just looking at how these guys are going to play this golf course. And if I were Adam Hadwin, I would see a lot of trouble in my way. If I'm Rory McIlroy or if I'm Harry Diamond and I'm going through the yardage book, I'm not even looking at this trouble, right? Because all the trouble my guy can carry. So it's going to be a different game. It's not alone going to get you there. So that's where I'm at. You could, and like, that might be wrong and you can disagree with it or whatever, but that's where I'm at. So one and done picks. So we went through the ownership. So this considers all things, right? This is the tool on Pool Genius. That's the tool that I consulted on. So this, because I plug in all of my, picks for the week, everything is updated in here, right? So it knows who I've used and who I haven't used. It looks at, if you want to save guys for further purses, all that stuff. So of my available golfers, it believes that Sahith is my best, and Tommy Fleetwood would be second. Corey Connors and Alex Noren would be third. So any one of those, obviously, depending on your position, would be really good. BD Fry, yes, good to see you. Says, great to be at the PGA. Yes, that was very nice. He went and saw Nate Bargatze. That's awesome. Favorite 3 guys in the 7K range and 1 in the 6K sleeper. Yeah, nice to see the family, and it was good to hear from you. So I really, really appreciate you stopping me there. Let's go to the cheat sheet, which I think I closed. So we'll go back to it here. So we'll go to the 7K range. Flip this around. Okay. Pendrith, Davis Thompson, and I don't mind Ryan Fox, and I don't mind Robert McIntyre. The 6K range, I think my favorite is Mac Meisner, 6,500. Good luck. Any thoughts on Chandler Phillips this week? Let's do a deep dive. Chandler Phillips. We've got a T12 at Charles Schwab. Lost strokes off the tee. I don't like this. Losing strokes off the tee in 3 straight. The rest of his game can be decent. I'm looking at his season-long stats there. He is both short and inaccurate. Second shot's not bad. Putting's okay. 5 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10. Not that excited. Thanks for all the hard work. Rick Run Good is a game changer. Thank you. Can you deep dive Sam Burns? Yeah, we did a little bit of that. So I agree that this is, first off, there's the 100 round version of Sam Burns. There's a lot of really good golf courses for Sam Burns. He just hasn't played that way, right? Look at all these kind of different leaks in his game. At the PGA Championship, he lost off the tee and with the putter. Those are 2 places that Sam Burns should be crushing with. So I agree on paper, but he does not seem to be in great form right now. I'm in a one and done where if you pick the winner, you can use them again. Is it too risky to fire out Rory and Tommy instead of saving them for the big events coming up? Well, the problem with the big events are the other guys are going to be there too, right? So even though it is a smaller purse, are they more likely to win this and then you get whatever money that you'd get from using them the second time? I would not consider using Tommy to be too risky. If you want to use Tommy, that's fine. I don't think he's going to win. Rory is a pretty big decision you have to make. Is there anywhere else he's going to be a bigger favorite than this? The answer is probably not, because if he only plays the big events from here on out, he's probably going to be like 7 or 8 to 1. Scotty's going to be involved in all of those. I'm trying to think of other good courses. I mean, East Lake might be his best fit left, and your one and done might not even go to East Lake. So I'm just trying to think of what else is still on the docket. If I were you, I would probably fire Rory here and try to double up on him. Rory and Cam or Fleetwood and Noren. It's Rory and Cam for me. Any word on Rory and Amanda? Let me tell you, I do not care one single bit about this. I don't care who is sleeping with who, who's dating who's flirting with who. I don't care. The thing that's crazy about it is that how much oxygen has been spent when there is like literally zero evidence. And I don't care if they are great. If they're not great, I don't care. But the only shred of quote evidence is that they both got divorced around the same time. Like, okay, so the other 50% of Americans who are also currently divorced might also be dating Amanda and might also be dating Rory. So I don't know. Silly. Do you think that Lowry's putting will hold him back from truly contending at a low scoring event? Well, the problem is he kind of wasted the amazing putting week. Not that he wasted it, but 9.5 strokes gained at the PGA Championship, by far the best of his career. He's not going to do that again this week. And it's much closer that he does one of these other loose 4, 5, 6, 7 strokes putting than he does gaining 9.5 again. So I would go to Noren instead. Noren's been phenomenal and continues to be. One and done, 17th out of 56. Says, should I pick Sahith or Fleetwood or go with someone sneaky? If I were you, I would pick Sahith here. Best chance of winning, Adam Scott, Cam Young, and Akshay. I say Cam Young. What does your betting card look like? Okay, so good transition because Cam Young is on my betting card, I believe. Where is he? Yes, he is. Okay. Don't bet what I bet. Go bet whatever you want. Don't spend your money because of what I say. Sahith at 18 to 1, Cam Young at 28 to 1, Keith Mitchell, which I think is the first time I bet Keith Mitchell all year, at 40 to 1, Taylor Pendrith at 75 to 1. I have then also wagered Taylor Pendrith to be the top Canadian at 7.5 to 1. Those are the big exposures for this week. What play have you warmed up to the most this week? Favorite sub 7K play. Okay. I think that was still Mac Meisner, right? He's 6,500. Like the way that he's playing. The guy that I've warmed on the most, Adam Scott, probably. Yeah, I think as I got into it more this week, I just thought he was playing worse, right? I was so in on Adam Scott earlier in the year, and he's just basically doing the same thing. which is not bad. So Adam Scott is probably the answer to that. And then thoughts on Martin Laird. I'm not sure I've thought about Martin Laird much this week. Let's go see what he's up to. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of committed to this driving thing at the moment, right? So if you've lost in a big way for 8 straight events off the tee, that's going to be a problem for me. To lose 2, 3, and 4 strokes ball striking is going to be a problem for me. This is a short game specialist who I think might get eaten alive here. That's going to be tough for me. Oh, Robert McIntyre. Yeah, so I mentioned him earlier. He's also probably a guy that I've wormed on quite a bit. So I believe that Bobby Mack is like very raw talent. Did not play well at the Charles Schwab, but going back before that, he was driving it much better. He's kind of sneaky longer than you think he is. He putts it very well. Kind of got beat up in Houston, kind of got beat up at Colonial a little bit, but other than that, it's been fairly good play for him. I think that's pretty sneaky. Matty Schmidt, is he breaking out of a slump? Man, I hope so. Right? Been pretty ugly, hasn't it? Oh, 4 straight missed cuts after Punta Cana. Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of evidence that he's getting any better. The evidence is that he's getting worse. So I guess the answer to Chris's question is no, it doesn't look like he's breaking out of a slump. Don't think anyone. Okay, here's the producer's pick of the week. She has gone with Ryan Fox. Wow. Ryan Fox, the Kiwi, right? The New Zealand boy. Very big hitter. T32 last week. He made the cut at the PGA. T4 at Myrtle Beach. Oh, Ryan Fox. Good call on charges being dropped against Scotty. 2 weeks too late. I know you love Davis Thompson. A viable option this week. Yep. Davis Thompson to me is a viable option until further notice. I don't know exactly what that means, but in a field this week, he should have top 25 upside. More than that, probably. I mean, 17th at Charles Schwab, runner-up at Myrtle Beach. Those are his last 2. Look at the stat profile, just getting better and better and better and better. And now we are in very good tee to green area and a 0 to slightly above putter. Let's go. DT in the house. Birdie Fest this week. Yeah, probably. There's the threes are hard. They're going to crush everything else. Distance, I think they're going to probably shred this place unless some weather event happens, but we looked at the weather and that seems pretty clean as well. I think they're going to beat it up. Long shot, top 20 out of Svensson, Lipsky, Crafter, Kazire. Pretty emphatically, I think, out of those guys. Here's the stat profile. I think you'll like it here, Rue. So Patton, T10 at Myrtle Beach, 9.4 to the positive in the ball striking. T24 at Byron Nelson. First off, since he kind of since he had this WD on the Corn Ferry, I think he had like a little bit of a soft reset because he's been playing great ever since then. 4 straight top 28 finishes, some good metrics to go along the way. Have you thought about doing a video solely based on the 3 big events coming up, best one and done plays for the rest of the season? I think that would be really popular. No, but I will add it to my list. Tommy Fleetwood. That's just the whole comment. The whole comment just says Tommy Fleetwood. So that's great. Rick, appreciate your hard work. Where do you download the official scorecards that you show on Monday? Oh, the media website. Sorry, that was not a better answer because I don't know if you'll have access to that some way. So, but I get them from the media website. They drop. The media website's very handy. It's got transcripts and I can watch the interviews and I can see the scorecards and like I can get the official field changes. I kind of breezed through Seamus Power a little bit earlier. I don't think this is a good spot for him, admittedly, but it is true that he is playing better. He was miserable for a while here, starting to get these approach gains back, which you love to see. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It's not all perfect, but we're getting there. Mac Meisner deep dive, sure. Oh, I also have to do something else in the next 30 minutes. Hold on a second. Mac Meisner. So first off, he's been playing on the PGA Tour all year long. My brain was thinking he's been back and forth between the Corn Ferry. That's not true. And he's starting to get his feet underneath him. T10 at Valero, top 25 at Zurich, whatever. 13th at Myrtle Beach, 5th at Charles Schwab. He's just a good player, and I think he can beat up on weaker fields. Okay. This is going to look more like a Corn Ferry Tour field than like a big time PGA. I shouldn't say that because obviously Rory's here, but it's going to be a pretty weak field. Real quick, because there's something that's going on that will expire in 30 minutes. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to enter the underdog portion of the show. Thank you very much. We've got to change that. It's supposed to say 250 deposit match because underdog up to their deposit match. So real quick, I wanted to point this out. So I think it's like every day underdog does these, these boosts or whatever, or these promos. So Paul Skeens over 0.5 pitch count. So as soon as he throws his first pitch, that wins. Right. And they have these, for different sports or whatever. And I always think in my head, like, okay, well, I'm going to be limited to, $10 on this or whatever it is. But if you're doing it every day, I mean, why would you not take like the free winner for $10 every day? $3,600 a year. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like most people just overlook that. And I'm like, it kind of does add up. So as soon as he throws a pitch, that side's a winner. You just got to find a different one. So you'll be limited, but it's a good idea. They are doing so they're doing the $250 deposit match now. I think it's up to $250. RickRunGood.com. There's a link in the description. The PGA props for this week. So the weird thing, and I was kind of getting frustrated with it earlier, because the Canadians are getting a lot of love in the betting markets because people are betting them and whatever. And then Underdog comes in and uses those lines to create the projections and the prop lines. You can kind of fade some of these Canadians and feel pretty good about it. So the only one that I'd be super worried about fading was Taylor Pendrith. But I mean, Nick Taylor over 69.5 strokes. So if you do Nick Taylor over 69.5 strokes in round one and Paul Skeens over a half a pitch. So when he throws a pitch, that's 10 to return 30. I don't think I can do more than that. I think when I would go to enter this, it would tell me I can only do $10. I mean, it adds up and then you can come back and do more if you wanted to. But so Nick Taylor higher than 69.5 strokes. He's really been struggling. I like the Pendrith higher than 3.5 birdies. I like even though it's not a full 1x return, the Keith Mitchell higher than 3.5 birdies. You can go pick on Corey Connors. So like there's one here, that Corey Connors won't finish inside the top 20. Sure. So these five right here, it's a 17x return. So 10 to return 170. I'm just picking on some of the Canadians out of the gate and then kind of picking on some of the guys that are probably going to regress. Shane Lowry higher than 68. Actually Mackenzie Hughes does model pretty well. I wouldn't be just like blindly fading him. I did also want to check. Yeah, here we go. The matchups. So like Sahith over Corey Connors here. Okay. Sahith over Corey Connors in round one. So just to be clear, I'm going to pull this up just so I'm not crazy. It's tight. Sahith is 18-1. Corey Connors is 22-1, but we know that Corey Connors line is like inflated. Okay. Now I also want to see if this exact matchup is available anywhere. I'm not seeing that one specifically. Am I seeing Sahith and Cam Young? I am not. I'm seeing Sahith and Akshay. Is that out? Fleetwood and Connors. So just trying to see what side these are on here. Connor's in EVR. Yeah, I'm just trying to do process of like Adam Scott versus Nick Taylor. Adam Scott's been a top 30 player this year. Nick Taylor's been like, since the Waste Management, has been like a bottom 30 player this year. Okay. And you can mix these up. So if you want to go Sahith over Connors, Adam Scott over Nick Taylor, then come back and put Rory to finish inside the top. Actually, you could do finish outside the top 10. And then you could go back and say, give me Paul Skeens, right? Higher. That is now a 15x return. 10 to win 150. That might be fun. Okay. Anyway, code is in the description. It's Rick. Go sign up, get involved. If you're into football, which I guess some people are, that'll be back soon. I think the best ball drafts are already running there. Very, very cool. All right. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, Brent says he likes the shirt. Yeah. How about that? Travis Matthew. So a couple things about this shirt. It's got, you know, the Ace King. It's got the dice. It's got the 777. It's a very Vegas style shirt. And this is the only shirt that I can remember. I saw this morning that has the Travis Matthew script in red, which I love. I wish I want to give him say, I wanted that to be Rick Run Good. That would be awesome. 6th in a 40-man league, Sahith or Norin. Oh, should I hold Sahith because he's 5th in the FedEx Cup standings? I still think there's a lot of that to shake out. I wouldn't mind either, but I would probably play Sahith. So the field strength is just it's because it drops off hard at the top, right? It's not the worst field. What is your starting point on an office on an O? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to pull up the OWGR. I don't know what your rules are, Carter. Do you have to pick like somebody from each one of the OWGR rank? I don't, there's so many different types of rules. You'd have to explain it all to me. Yeah. So Alistair Doherty, I did write about him in my newsletter. If you're not getting my newsletter, you're kind of crazy. Says, already had him on my mind and I ran a model with distance, weighted stroke game, putting 50-50, came out on top. What do you know about him from the Corn Ferry Tour? Is he any good around the greens? Yeah, the problem is it's just all Corn Ferry Tour stuff. So like we don't have a ton of information. So no, I don't. I'd be lying to you if I said I did know anything. By the way, do I want to say that? Okay, I'll say it. So I'm in the process of going back and adding like every historic event ever to Rick Run Good. Now that might be interesting. It might not be interesting. I find it interesting. And I'm starting with the majors. So like Jack Nicklaus, I've got his majors and strokes gained back to like 1957, which is unbelievable. Now I still have a lot more to do. I got to add in the courses and all this stuff and some master stuff I have to add in. And then I got to get to the Open Championship. But I also have added, let's see if it's in here. I'm in the process of loading it. Francis, we met. Yeah, we're at that portion of the show. Oh, I didn't load it in yet. Okay. Well, it's Francis. I have the results and strokes gained of the US Open to 1895 since the start. 1895. How sick is that? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's sick. Hey, Rick, thanks for all that you do. Can we deep dive Vince Whaley and declare if you'd rather be burned by the whale or the fish this week? Okay. Yes, I will declare this definitively. Hold on. Here's the deep dive on Vince Whaley. He's played 2 events on the Corn Ferry in his 2 most recent starts, 4th and 32nd. Didn't this guy used to be a bomber? He still is, but he is spraying. Well, he's not. I mean, 68th in distance. That's okay. Why is off the tee number so bad? Is he really missing that poorly? I mean, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit farther. Yeah, this is what I remember. 1.5, 2, 3 strokes gained off the tee. Boy, we are a long ways from that. Okay, so that I have that. I have that in my brain. Now let's look at Patrick Fishburne. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I would rather be burned by the fish. He's playing better. He's playing on the PGA Tour. It's a much better looking stat profile. I would rather be burned by the fish. I love when I'm like 30 minutes behind, 45 minutes behind on and I just see something like no shot. Like I have no idea what that's in response to. What software do you use to map the courses? I've used a variety of things, including just Google Maps, but this is provisualizer.com. Very, very handy. Any chance Rico Hoey could be in play this week if driving is important? One of the best drivers I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even really exaggerating. The problem is the rest of his game isn't very good. I root for Rico. He's a Vegas guy, plays out of Summerlin, I believe. But this is what I was referring to not being interested in. Not being interested in the one trick pony, right? I want distance, but it cannot be the only thing. It cannot be the only thing. So that eliminates for me Cam Champ, a little bit of Joseph Bramlett. It eliminates Rico Hoey. Okay. By the way, do we still have an overlay? So our Rick Run Good contest on Splash, our weekly listener league, we keep raising the number of entries. We keep hitting it and it keeps getting guaranteed. So right now, this is a guaranteed purse, $5,400, where there are 100 spots remaining. Last week, I entered two lineups and forgot to put them in. So somebody is going to win $810 no matter if a single other person gets in on this. So here's how it works. You click add entries. You click add entries. You fill this out. It's $20. It's tiers. So you go through each one of the tiers. Okay. Let's do one together. Tier 1. Now I already have a Rory one and I already have a Cam Young one. So I'm going to do something different this time. I'm going to go, actually, I think I have a Sahith one. So I'm going to go Cam Young. Now we've got here these 10 golfers here. Let's go Mac Hughes. I think so. I have exposure to McNeely. I have exposure to Mitchell. I think both of them are fine. Let's go Hughes. I have a ton of Taylor Pendrith everywhere. So we don't need to pick Taylor Pendrith. We're not going to pick Nick Taylor. Let's do our boy Davis Thompson. By the way, Eric Cole should be in about tier 6 at this point. Tier 4. This, I think, is the hardest one because none of these guys are in, like, there's a lot of questions about all these guys. Let's go a little bit of narrative. S.H. Kim playing with Mike Weir, trying to show off for the International President's Cup team for the first 2 days. Tier 5. Let's go with Armina's Ryan Fox. And tier 6 is everybody else in the field. We could go with Fishburne. Hayden Buckley had a top 10 last week. Actually, where's Pearson Cootie? Not Parker. Where's Pearson? Pearson. There he is. Let's do Pearson. Okay, that's it. It's very simple. Submit it. Somebody's going to win $810. Hopefully, it is going to be me. Link is in the description. Go check it out. Adam Scott versus Keith Mitchell. Can either of them win again, or is it just useless folly? Oh, boy. I mean, I'm higher on both of them this week than I have been in quite some time, but I do worry, Brent, that they can't win. No, I think it's okay. I think you should leave it. Total mistake to take Rory in one and done? Question mark. I'm just outside the money. No, because look, nobody's taking Rory. 4%. 4% are taking Rory. Shake it up. Go for it. Is Nick Taylor a good pick? No, I don't think so. We've answered a lot of these, which is very nice. What are you thinking about Sam Stevens? Yeah, you know what? Liked him last week. Not sure I can be as optimistic this week. T10 at Myrtle Beach, but that was a pretty fluky T10. Had the best driving week of his career and gained a lot in the short game. Regressed back to his averages at Colonial and missed the cut. So that's troublesome. Out. What's up, Rick? Hey, Free Pac-Man. What is the best approach yardages for custom model this week? Yeah, so it's a good question. So because this event hasn't been used since 19 and then 12 before that, and they've done work since then, like the shot link data, it's not viable. Now, just looking at the scorecard though, there are a couple short par fours, couple long par threes. I think you're going to get a pretty even mix of approach distributions. What I would do is if you want to model, do like par threes over 200 yards and then do approaches from like 125 and in, something like that. Like, let's see if I can just do that real quick. So it would look something like approach from, so I would take like these three, right? So we could do 15, 15, 15. So that's 50 to 125. And then hole types, strokes gained on par threes that are over 200 yards for the other half of this. I'm just, you don't have to do all this, but Rory McIlroy, Ben Griffin, Parker Cootie, Mac Meisner, Chandler Phillips, Ben Martin, Davis Thompson, Keith Mitchell, Hayden Springer, Aaron Baddeley would be the best there. Meisner, but it's close with Novak, but Meisner. Is Buckley back? Fingers crossed. Elite driving talent. We saw a little bit of it last week, but like it was like 20 events in a row in which it was bad. So fingers crossed, friend. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, see ya. First time, long time. Thank you. Appreciate that. Henrik Norlander. I don't remember liking this. I remember seeing it. Hasn't played much, has he? Hasn't played much at all. T20 at Myrtle Beach Classic. Lost throughout the bag at the CJ Cup. Missed the cut on the. I don't love this. I'm sorry, Sia. I don't love this. I play it every week, so I need the producer's pick. Yeah, no, she's absolutely crushing me. Yes. Okay. So I finished second in this, Jaron, yesterday or last week, which was very annoying. So they have DraftKings has a single stat birdie or better. It just adds up how many birdies you make. Everybody's the same price. It's crazy. Winner take all. I finished like I tied for, or I was like one birdie out of the, I guess it would have been a split. Does Mina have a sister? Yeah, two of them actually. They're twins as well. Driving distance. So this is like, the question is like, I don't necessarily think driving distance is the only way to get it done. And I also understand that there's a lot that I don't know. Okay. Right. We're kind of going blind into this course for the most part. I've answered a lot of these, and Ollie is about to lose his mind. So I might have to. Sorry for your eardrums. I might have to stop this here. We're about. All right. 1 second. He's going in air jail right now. Okay. We're gonna ride this out here. We're gonna keep him cool. All right. So, okay, I watched this. So what were the odds? What were the odds before the I was looking for Osaka's odds before the event, Brent, and then I was looking to see what the longest Swiatek was when she was down like 4 games there. Which golfers are getting the most strokes around the green in the last 36? Okay, come on, Ollie. We can work through this. Ollie. Last 36 rounds around the green, everybody in this field. We've got people here, but we're going to work through this. Roger Sloan, Aaron Baddeley, Aaron Cockrell, Martin Laird, Mackenzie Hughes are the best. I know. Is there anyone that you should? That's a good question. Is there anyone that we should have done a deep dive into? It's a very good question. Let's look through this. Like who? Okay, so let's just look at Eric Van Rooyen. So many. Okay, he's laying down. Many of the models that I've run, have had Eric Van Rooyen in them in the top 10 in some way. He's $8,200 and he's at like 9% projected ownership. So let's just see what in the world is going on here. Made the cut at the PGA, T4 at Myrtle Beach where he played okay. Harbor Town. Okay, you know, we're getting 4 made cuts at some pretty different golf courses with some very different fields, and all of them except Myrtle Beach much stronger than this one. Now, he didn't play well here. He didn't play well at the Players or the Texas Open, but before that he was on fire. So maybe I'll tell you what, his ball striking number has been very good this year. I mean, his ball striking number has been great going back to last summer. Barracuda last summer. Maybe EVR is the guy we should have been talking about. How about that? Oh, she was only plus 245. That's surprising to me. Have you ever been to the Golden Steer restaurant in Las Vegas? No. Is that the place where you can try to eat like the 70-ounce steak in like an hour or something like that? Is it that place? Okay. Oh, plus 450 when she was down big in the third set. Okay. That's what I was looking for. All right. A couple of other things real quick. So about 2 months ago, I added memberships to YouTube, which is what you see like Brent's question. I don't know if you can see that, but like he's a member, which is much appreciated. One of the things, along with like prioritizing your comments and stuff like that, is I have been taking these behind the scenes videos when I travel to golf events, and I've been putting them on YouTube for members only. Because I want to record it in some way, and that kind of made me commit to doing that. So what I did do for this PGA Championship, though, is I opened it up for it's unlisted. Okay, so you have to have a link to it. So here it is, like here's part of it, right? It's kind of travel, and it's like from the golf course, like stuff that we were doing. Here's us inside the ropes and in the studio and all that stuff. So go check it out. I don't know. I like doing these and I want to keep doing them, but I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to grow and see what works and what doesn't, but I'd like your feedback and I'd like to see it. There's one for the Masters in there. There's one for the PGA Championship in there. If you need to get to it, you can get it to it through my newsletter. There's a link there, or you can become a member and see it that way. I don't know. Just trying some new stuff. Anyway, I think that is it. Go sign up for rickrungood.com. Go fill the splash contest. Do your underdog thing. Tell Oliver to have a great day. Where is he? There he is. Hold on. Oh, he's getting heavy. There he is. All right. We'll see you another time.